Okay, I'm back. Can anyone hear me now?
Crystal and Cheryl text me. All right. That's what we're doing now.
Is anybody hearing me now?
I come back up, that means no. Sorry.
Okay, I've got one saying sound is on. I'm going to wait just a minute and see if anyone else joins. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what that was. This is my first live, so thank you for bearing with me. All right. Okay, looks like I've got a couple of people back. Sorry about that, guys. I'm still learning. All right. Looks like I've got a few people back. Thank you for joining me. Can everyone hear me that's on? Okay. Sorry, we're running a little bit late because I couldn't figure out the sound there, but I'll go ahead and start showing you how to make this pretty cross Funfold card. And then I'll show you a couple of other ways I did it, some other examples that I made. So if you're wanting to craft along with me, I put the measurements and everything on my Facebook page earlier. So what you're going to need is just a regular A2 card base, which is 8.5 by 5.5. You needed some white cardstock, and you needed a piece that was 1 3/8 by 4 1/4. You needed one that was 1 1/8 by 5 1/4, and you also needed one that was 1 1/8 by 4. And then you also needed some designer series paper, and I'm using some different paper than from my sample card. The designer series paper, you needed 2 pieces that were cut 2 5/8 by 5 1/4, and then you needed a smaller piece that is 1 1/2 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to move my pieces out of the way so we can just start building the card. So the first thing you'll need to do is score your card base. So I'm going to get out my paper trimmer. All right, and we need to move the cutting blade out of the way. And we are going to make our first score line at 1 3/8. And then a second score line at 4 1/4. And when you're making a regular A2 card, that's the normal score line. Thank y'all for coming back. I'm sorry about the volume earlier. All right, I'm gonna put my paper trimmer away. And then we just need to fold on our score lines. So this first smaller edge here, you're going to fold back. And I'm going to use my bone folder to give that a nice crisp fold. And then you're going to fold it in half on your 4 1/4 score line and give that a good burnish as well. Okay? So it starts out like a basic A2 card base. A basic Z-fold card base. You can kind of see like that. Just scoring it a little bit differently than you would. Now we can go in and start decorating our card with our designer series paper. So if you open it up, you're going to take your smaller piece, and it's going to fit right along this edge. You're going to want to leave just a small border that's kind of equally around it, and we'll glue that down. Just kind of like that, making sure you leave an equal amount of white around it. Okay? Is anyone making a card with me or just watching tonight? And then the second piece will go here, and you're going to do the same. You want to make sure you leave a little white edge about equally around. Okay, and then the last piece will go here on the front, just behind your little folded piece. Okay, like that. All right, and there you can kind of see it starting to come together. Next, what you want to do, you're going to need to do a little bit of embossing, and you can see this has a little bit of texture on it. I used the timber embossing folder to give it kind of that little bit of wood texture. So I'm going to get my stamp cut and die machine out in my embossing folder, and then the two pieces that are cut 1 1/8 inches by 5 1/4, and then the 4-inch piece, these you're going to emboss. So let me grab my machine in my folder. And for this one, remember you just need your base and then your number 4 plate, and you'll sandwich your folder in between. And here's the embossing folder that I'm using. And I've just layered my pieces in like that. And now I'll just crank them through. And then you'll see you've got your texture on your paper now. Okay, and now we'll start building our cross. So the longer piece that's 5 1/4, you'll glue to the front of your card, to the little flap you made here. Actually, I'm gonna glue this side. Okay. And you'll just center it in that front little flap you made. I'm going to hold it just a minute with that texture. It takes it a minute to kind of the glue to take hold and stick down good. The other piece you'll glue to your smaller piece of white cardstock here. And I'm just centering it. If anybody has any questions while I'm going, please ask them. I am trying to watch the comments just to see if you say anything or have a question. Whoops. Trying to center it and I'm getting it uncentered. There we go. And then you're going to glue it down to the other part of your cross there. And remember, you just need glue underneath this little center piece. So what I do is kind of put my fingers top, bottom, lift it up, and then I know I'm just going to put glue there in between them. Thank you, Anne. Alright, and I'm just holding it for a minute. Actually, I want to shimmy it down just a little. There we go. Making sure it gets a good stick. Okay. Next, we need to do a little stamping. So I'm going to make this into an Easter card like I did this one. So I'm using the Reason to Celebrate stamp set. And you'll see it can be used for multiple occasions, but it's got the happy up here and then Easter. So that's what we're going to stamp. And my ink I'm using tonight is Pretty Peacock. Thank you, Christine. And I cut out a circle from my Stylish Shapes dies, just like I did for this one. And I'm inking up Easter first. And just kind of centering it on that circle. And then inking up Happy. And trying to center it right over Easter. Oops, I got a little smudge there. That's why you cut a little extra. Let me clean that one off and I'm going to do that a little better for you. Alright. Easter. And let's get Happy on there a little better this time without smudging it. There, that's better. Okay. And I'm going to use on this one a few of my dimensionals just to pop it up from the center. I like using dimensionals to give it different heights and looks to your cards. I go through lots of these dimensionals. Alright, and I'm going to put Happy Easter right in the center of my cross. Okay. And to kind of decorate this one, I cut some little die cuts. This is from the Delicate Whispers. Yep, Delicate Whispers dies. I used this one, and then I also cut out some of the little flowers from this set as well. Might add a few of those, we'll see. Alright. Let me see, I can add just a little tiny dab of glue here and there and not make a mess. Actually not getting any glue out. Let's try this again. Let me get a different one. One other thing you can do if you have a tiny die like that is use one of their little silicone craft sheets. And then if you kind of make a mess getting it on there, it'll peel right off of this. And we'll try to get mine going over here on the side again. Okay, let's try this one. I had this one standing upside down, so I know it's going to run everywhere. But that's okay. That's why we got this mat out. And what I think I'll do is just get a little glue on the back of it and stick it down. Let me get something to put the glue on with. Here we go. I think I'll just use my tweezers here and dot a little glue, and then I can clean off my tweezers pretty easily. You're not crafting if you don't get a little messy. Alright, and then I'm just going to put that around the edge here. Okay, and I almost don't think I need the white flowers. What do you think? Should I put the white flowers on? Or no? I'll let y'all decide. Flowers or no flowers? What do you think? Hey, Angie. Do you think I should add the little white flowers, or is it finished? Flowers. Okay. Shirley says flowers. So let's try to add some. I may use my smaller dimensionals on those. Let me see where they are. These are the smaller dimensionals. I had the larger ones for the circle here in the middle. Let's add some to the flowers. I'm going to use my take your pick tool to get the backs off of these. There we go. Okay. Let's add one up here. Oh, I think I like the flowers too. I don't want to cover up my Easter though. Let's go a little bit higher. And then maybe one down here. I think I like the flowers too. That was a good idea, y'all. Okay, and that is our completed card for tonight. And I think I failed to mention when I first started, but this paper here comes from the Thoughtful Journey 6x6 paper pack. And it has really beautiful paper, and I've made several of these cards with it. So here's a couple of them. This one's made pretty much like our card tonight. But then, where did I put them? I made one like this, where I just reversed and I used designer series paper, where I used cardstock here. And then I embossed some cardstock and put it where I had the designer series paper and added the little ribbon around the cross for an Easter card. And then the other one I made a sympathy card, and this is using the Thoughtful Journey paper. On the outside it says, "So sorry for your loss." On the inside, "As you grieve, may your memories comfort you, your faith strengthen you, and may hope heal your heart." So, what do you think? Which one is your favorite? We can just number them, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Which one do you like the best? Anne likes them all. I'm kind of partial to number 2 and number 4. And I think it's just because I love this paper so much. That's from the same pack of paper. This with the greenery is from the, I can't think of the exact name, but it's Cute Bugs paper. That was from that paper pack. And this was from the Delicate Whispers. Thank y'all so much. Do you have any questions? All of the dimensions, like I said, were posted earlier today on my Facebook page. Just scroll down a little bit and you'll see them if you want to recreate it. Thank you, Angie. Number 2 for Carol. And number 4 for Shirley. Thank you. Well, I appreciate y'all watching, and I hope to make this kind of a regular thing. If you have an evening that's better for you to watch, let me know. Oh, Christine says 2. She likes blue. Yeah, if you have a particular night that's better for you, let me know. I'll try and go with the majority if you want to watch again. And thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I really, really appreciate it. I'm going to say good evening for now.